What are we without innovation? Well, it's easy. We're stagnant. We're stuck in a rut. Hello and welcome to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. A show where we have team after team, contestant after contestant who want to get society out of this very rut. That's right, innovations like you've never seen before from bright young minds of our country. 24 teams competing for that grand prize. What is that prize? Well, if our judges think that your innovation is the best they've seen, 10 lakh rupee cash prize and a paid experience to the DuPont headquarters in the United States. But it's not as easy as it sounds, because we have a jury here that's not very easy to impress. So let's go ahead and welcome them to the show. Our first jury member is the MD of Selco, Dr. Harish Hande. Hi Harish, how are you?
Good, good.
Well, Harish, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Our next judge is Vani Kola, the MD of Gelli Capital. She is the money mind amongst our judges. Our third judge is the technical director of DuPont, Homi Bhedwar. Hi Homi, how are you?
I am really well, thank you.
Well, so let's begin, shall we? We have three teams who are going to be competing here today. Three innovative products that are going to be displayed. Let's start with the first. Let's have a look at the product before we call the team.
Gelli Ravi Kumar from IIT Bombay has developed a graphics model for power systems that offers a seamless and vendor-independent format for representation of network data. This provides a visual power grid to the end user and is a model for future power control centers.
Please welcome our first team, Ravi Kumar Gelli from IIT Mumbai and Monami Bagchi from IIM Indore. Ravi, Monami, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
Excited to be here and looking forward to the show.
So are you ready, Ravi?
Yes.
All right. The jury, the audience, they're all yours. Go ahead and dazzle them.
We have a huge population. In that, it is really required to have a reliable power supply from the generation to the consumers. We have a lot of complex grid which has been there since decades, and in that, in India we have actually multiple grids are there. In that, the proprietary systems are using since 2 decades for operating the grid in a reliable manner. But due to those are in the proprietary and they have the very lack in the sense of timeliness responses for the grid disturbances and lack of coordination between the existing systems. So now the research innovation which has been carried out by me is that there should be a common culture in the electricity's controlling centers also. So for that we require a kind of a common informations, representations of the proprietary nature which are there in the control centers. So with that actually we can achieve whenever there is a failure in the outside transmission lines, then we can have a very fast web-based visualizations, and whatever happens in a real world, as close to the near real world, the innovation actually exhibits the information over the web. So with that the system operators can respond fastly, and we can have a more reliable grid, and we won't face in near future again the blackout like the last year happened. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ravi. Ravi also spoke about his professor, Professor Kapade, who is joining us right now. And Professor, could you tell us more about the advantages of this innovation?
The major advantage is for the power system operation company. We had several discussions with this company, and whatever we are trying to do is trying to help them. It is regarding, actually we are shifting to the power markets, and we are shifting to the new SCADA systems in which some standards are to be adopted. So whatever things we are doing is going to help them.
Thank you so much, Professor. Now it's the turn of Ravi's teammate Monami, who's from IIM Indore, to present the business plan. So Monami, if you're ready, the floor is all yours.
So our target market has the national level load dispatch center at the top level. Then we come down to the 6 power grid control centers, the 5 regional control centers, and then it will come down to the state level control centers, and of course the last but not the least, the distribution hubs. Now the reason why we want to target all of them is because the benefits of this kind of technology can only be reaped if all of the power grids are using this kind of a software. That's when the interoperability, the flexibility and the scalability comes into play. Our product offering goes beyond hardware to go into the services that they require, the upgradation, the training that the new control center operators might be needing to gel with the innovation. So essentially our revenue stream comes from the value add services which we are doing. Our core competency would be delivering the software and the training services, but our reach probably would not be as much as to reach all the control center offices one. So we want to tie up with a partner which will provide the training on our behalf to the control center operators. So that's about it from the marketing plan.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. I'm looking at the jury and they look like they have a bag full of questions.
So, my question was, you talked about this problem in India. Very simply, tell me what got you thinking about this issue.
I have been a fond of using open source technologies and helping and developing a kind of IT environment in the power systems. I want to add up a kind of IT open source environment for the power systems, and that should benefit the power grid which is at the high level.
Thank you.
No, I knew that this would happen one day because not paying attention in my first semester for electrical engineering, and that would come and bite me. Question is, we all knew that half the country went out of power last year, right? Just very simply, in one sentence, tell me, do you think your innovation would have solved it?
In some sense, yes, it is. Because the fault occurs at the relay, at the RTU level, which is the physical device at the field. The information will be transferred to the control center. So if these innovations would have been installed over there, so there might be a kind of events publishing or a kind of event analysis because of its open source.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Monami. Thank you very much, Ravi Kumar, Gelli. You may leave. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break and come back with teams 2 and 3. DuPont presents The Power of Shunya, a challenge for zero. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. 3 innovative products to be presented here today in front of IIM and jury, 1 to be chosen in the end as the winner. We've met our first team, it's time to meet our second, but before that, let's have a look at what they'll be presenting.
IITian Ajay Sidpara has developed a universal tool to get nanometer-level surface finish. His innovation, nanofinishing of complex surfaces, uses magneto-rheological fluid and abrasive particles and has the potential to replace many traditional finishing processes which are time-consuming, costly and often inaccurate.
So here's team 2, Ajay Sidpara from IIT Kharagpur and Shankey Kapoor from IIM Calcutta. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. All the best. We're going to start with your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the product which is developed for nano finishing of complex surfaces. Now there are 2 aspects. One is the nano finishing. That means your finishing is at the nano level, because you by naked eye you can't see the difference between the nano finished and micro finished surface. But when you see at the microscopic level, at that time you may see many asperities and cracks and scratches at the micron surfaces. When it comes to nano surface, it should be completely clean even at the microscopic level. And second is the complex surfaces. Now finishing of flat surface is not a big issue nowadays, But finishing of complex surfaces which are presently is demonstrated on a knee joint implant, because this is not a standard thing, it is just a trial and error. This tool has been already demonstrated its application in the aerospace, then the optics finishing, and this is the one which I have carried here. Only thing you need to change the shape of the magnet, and the MR fluid, which is the consumable, you can use continuously without destroying its quality of the things. So that is the main advantage of the process and the technology which is developed compared to whatever things are available right in the market.
Thank you very much, Ajay. We also have Professor V.K. Jain from IIT Kanpur who's joining us. Hello, Professor. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Could you tell us a little more about the advantages of this innovation?
One of the main advantages is that the cost of the knee joint will reduce substantially, in my opinion, because total time taken for finishing these knee joints is reduced compared to the existing processes. And once time is reduced, then definitely total production cost of the knee joints is going to reduce. And most important thing is our dependence on the foreign companies for finishing these knee joints will be overcome.
Thank you very much, Professor Jain. Well, you've heard the science behind the innovation now. Now it's time for that important step. How is it going to get to the market? How's it going to make some money? Shankey Kapoor from IIM Calcutta is going to throw some light on that. Shankey, if you're ready, it's all yours.
Looking at the map of India, we pointed out four dots where represents 4 metro cities through which we will be catering to 7 or 8 metro cities. Now, these why we have selected metro cities, because most of the knee joints or hip joints replacements are done in these metro cities. Now, once we have identified these metro cities, we have identified that there are 15,000 hospitals in these metro cities, but directly targeting towards hospitals doesn't make sense for us. So what we did was we again segmented our customer base into early adopters and followers. So coming to the early adopters, we have found that the surgeons, famous surgeons who are also involved in the social activity, who are treating the poor people. So they would be more involved in using our products, and also those surgeons which are currently using Indian implants. So these would be the early adopters of our technology. And the orthopedic hospitals which are specialists in doing these kind of surgeries would be the following. Now coming to the distribution network design, there were 2 options to us, either to go to the salespeople or distribute through a distributor. As we have a new product, so probably no distributor would sell our product. So we have to develop our own salespeople and train them. So that is our whole marketing plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, now the question is, did the jury like that, or is the jury going to say no and bring them down to their knees? Over to you.
So Ajay, this is not a new concept, correct?
Yes.
So is there anything new and different in magnetic rheological fluid work that you've done?
Yeah. So the technology which was developed in Russia, that is in Belarus, and now that same technology transferred to US, and now there is a company called QED Technology who are actually selling these commercial machines, and they are not even interested to jump into this market because they are already captured this optics market, and it is very difficult for them to design a new tool which is for this particular metal finishing. So before that, we already initialized this work. Now what is the difference between these two technology? Now principle remains same, that all the magnetic field energize the MR fluid. Now science is the MR fluid, the how to prepare MR fluid, which are different for different applications. So now we had a formulated MR fluid of chemicals. Now these chemicals actually increase the aggressiveness of this MR fluid, and you can easily remove the surface from these high hardness metals, and that is not available anywhere else in the present.
Okay.
So my question is, today there are standard manufacturers for these implants, and they give quite a long guarantee, 35 years plus, even up to 50 years. The surgeries itself are near 100% success rate, and the price of the implant today is only at best 10% of the total cost of surgery, right? So I'm trying to understand what is the actual benefit of doing this.
First of all, I'll explain what's the cost benefit in it. If you talk about the cost benefit, currently the knee implant, which is Indian implant, costs you around 70,000, and the foreign implant costs you around 1,25,000, in which 40% of the cost...
Can I stop you there? That's not the cost of the implant, that's the cost of the surgery. The implant itself, if you do your research, is about a 10% of that overall cost.
So the thing is, by doing it on a nano scale, the quality is far better than the Indian implants as compared to the foreign implants, and we are giving it a cost which is even less than the Indian implants. So that is where the cost benefits comes in.
Thank you very much. You've got questions and you've also got valuable insights. So thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you so much, Shankey. Good presentation. Thank you. Well, we still have one final team and one final product to display, but we're going to do that after a short break on DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, a challenge for zero. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. Well, we've had two teams that are presented today. The third innovative product is lying right in front of us. Before we call the team, let's have a look at what it is. So here is Team 3 from RV College of Engineering, Ravindra Suri, and from ISB Hyderabad, Sharodeya Dasgupta. Welcome to the show. Sharodeya, please explain to us what your name means, because it's so unusual.
I know. Loosely translated, it means Autumn's daughter. So, yeah.
Autumn's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very pretty name.
Thank you.
Ravindra, if you're ready, I'll tell you our jury is. Off you go.
The idea for this innovation was that we needed to find a suitable solution for relief measures during floods and natural disasters. So we had in mind an airplane which had an image acquisition system on board, so that the images captured could be transmitted to the ground. The image that is acquired can be streamed online. That is, a person can view it anywhere provided he has access to internet. Since the plane is connected to internet through cellular network, what we did was we tried to make the system as compact as possible. Generally, airplanes have a fuselage, a wing and a tail. We wanted to make it very compact, so we had to drop certain parts of the plane. So we removed off the tail and we combined it with the wing itself. The fuselage has also been made into a part of the wing itself. This kind of design is called a flying wing because it generally resembles a wing itself. The whole point of this idea was to make it very affordable, because right now we are investing a lot on rescue helicopters and things like that. And one more thing is that we had to design in keeping in mind that the mechanical structure has to lift the electronic components off. So we need to make sure that the plane can carry the maximum payload. So we designed a system which in the end the result was we could carry 4 times the empty weight of the plane. Further, we also plan on implementing an autonomous system so that it need not be controlled. So this is the idea. And
thank you very much. We also have your mentor, Professor Kulkarni, from the RV College of Engineering. So Professor, if you could just tell us what this experience was like and some more advantages and features of this product.
No, I am very excited to see that there's so much of clarity is there in the images, and also most important aspect is such a compact device. It just weighs about 125 grams, it's portable, and it can be taken anywhere, it can be used any situation. That's the outstanding part of this, because the camera is something which is normally not seen in a UAV. There is a lot of scope for its use in various situations.
Thank you very much, Professor. Well, now it's time for the business plan, the marketing plan of this. For that, we're going to go to Miss Autumn's daughter. If you could please throw some light on it. Floor's all yours.
Thank you, Gaurav. One of the primary applications of our innovation would be in the disaster management space. The other very obvious application would be in the surveillance sector, both defense and civil. The other more commercial extension of this application could be in the news business. Distribution strategy for defense purposes, we will have to be selling it to the DRDO in the government. So for that, we will have to go through the B2B selling model that we would be adopting.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. She looks deceptively non-violent and talking about war and conflict.
Exactly,
Yeah. The judges, your questions.
Yeah, because this is a family channel, I can't ask him that why did he really start this eye in the sky, right?
Not the same thing. I don't use it when I was 12 years old.
No, the question is, the radius is, if I look at 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers is what you like. Is that a good amount of space actually?
Area is a concern with the transmitter. By increasing the range of the transmitter, that this can be achieved. Further, since once we get the autonomous system running, we won't need a transmitter at all, so the range won't matter then.
In terms of it really commercially being viable, where are you from readiness of a product? If someone here wanted to license this, is this ready for commercial use?
Once the companies take it up as on a serious note, they can definitely build upon this. I won't say that this is the product, but it's almost the end of the prototype and the beginning of a product.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, team. Let's give them a round of applause. Good presentation. Thank you. That was our third and final team with their innovation. Now, will they be soaring the high skies or crashing into the ground? Our judges are going to decide that. They're going to evaluate all three products and presentations that they saw today. Out of 100 points, it's 20 points each across 5 different parameters on disruptions, on relevance, commercial viability, the science behind the idea, and most importantly, that Shunya quotient. We're talking about social impact. Well, so the judges have reached their verdict. There was a very animated discussion between all of them. They took about 5 seconds to decide the winner and the other 45 to decide where dinner is being had. So if you could tell us just the first part of it, of who the winner is. Dr. Homi?
So this was a very interesting set of 3 innovations we had. We kind of thought the eye in the sky kind of had a very combination of science as well as potential model.
Fantastic. Well, so let's call on our winners, Shardia and Ravindra, the winners of today's episode. And could I request the jury to join us here as well, please? Soaring in the sky, congratulations. We have these tablet devices for you, which Homi would present.
Congratulations.
Everybody wins today, don't they? Well, I'll tell you what, these two now get a chance, a serious chance, to play in that grand finale, which is going to be our 10th and final episode. And at the end of that, if they can clinch that, they get a 10 lakh rupee prize and also paid experience at the DuPont headquarters in the United States. So there's big stakes that they're playing for. I'd like to thank our judges. It was a tough episode today. Well, that's all we have time for on this episode of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. We'll see you next time. Hope you join us then. Goodbye.